What's going on? It's the RapNerd, and as you know, Mortal Kombat 2 dropped over the weekend, and I feel like since it's been out for the weekend, we are in a good place to talk spoilers. So, a heads up, I'm talking all spoilers here. If you have not seen Mortal Kombat 2, go watch it and then come back here and join the discussion. Like I said in my first review, I absolutely loved this film. It took me back to my childhood. It almost gave me the feeling of watching the first Power Rangers movie for the first time as a kid, because I just saw my childhood and the games that I played brought to life in the best way possible. And man, this is easily one of the best video game adaptation movies ever put on screen. Yes, I am willing to say that, because they just did everything so flawlessly. Unlike the first one, where I feel like they were trying to build something, if Mortal Kombat was real, kind of going the same route the 95 one did, but it just didn't work based on the fact that they tried to do it with a brand new character. I feel like they could have done this movie first, honestly, without even, having the first film, because this is the way into the film, I believe, because first of all, they're talking about the tournament, which is the biggest thing when it comes to Mortal Kombat. And to use Johnny Cage as an entry point there, I think was a chef's kiss, especially him being old and seasoned. I know there are some people who preferred maybe a younger version of Johnny Cage, but I really like that he's been around for a while and he's kind of washed up, because it just makes his character arc that much better. And when we get to that end moment where Johnny does his special shadow kick, it was so epic, because this whole time he's pretty much been in a place of getting his ass kicked and also kind of fleeing from a fight. So that moment at that time made me want to stand up and do applause, even though I don't like doing that in movies, but that was just so well worth it. And I like what they established, in the first one, and that's why I feel like the first one did work, because they made that ground rule of characters entering the tournament. They have to earn their special moves and powers, and that definitely carried along with Johnny Cage. So I love seeing the arc about him continue. And that's also the good thing about the movie, is it's an ensemble cast with ensemble storylines. It's secretly a Katana movie, which I think was also fire, because it showed her importance to the whole tournament, and also didn't put her in a position as being a damsel in distress, similarly how she was seen in Mortal Kombat from 95 and Annihilation. Even though she did get her fight sequences in, but she was pretty much a damsel and needed to be rescued, while here, she could hold her own. I mean, she ended up defeating Shao Kahn using her special moves to kill him and reclaim her spot as queen, which is super fire. And I think the actress who played her with such sincerity that it made her very believable with what she was trying to do. And I also like Jade. I believe the actress's name is Tati Gabrielle. I gotta give her flowers, because she is definitely a scream queen, in my opinion, who also works in the space of genre, which is very rare for Black folks, people of color, to constantly do it. And every time she shows up, she puts her work in. So I definitely give her a shout out. But I really enjoyed her version of Jade as well, because she also was very sincere, and you could feel the friendship and relationship between her and Katana quite a bit, even when it's discovered that Katana is trying to overthrow Shao Kahn. You can see that Jade still cares, and she's like, look, you don't need to be doing this, because if they find out, it's gonna be hell to pay. And she's doing her best to protect her. And their relationship made that whole aspect work too. And again, it's just so good that we have three different arcs going on, as I explained in my review, how you have the Shao Kahn and Kitana arc there, then you have the main arc with Raiden's team, and then you have Johnny Cage entering the fray, and you get equal time with everybody. So it just feels like a really great collection of characterization here, because everyone gets their moment to shine. And one of my favorite things is all of the sequences were actually stages from the games. Some I didn't really know, because of course we're on Mortal Kombat 11 by now, and I stopped playing Mortal Kombat at number 2, I believe, back in the day. So the universe has definitely expanded more, and there were for sure other stages that I probably didn't know about, but the one that I did, I was geeking out. The acid pool stage was crazy. As soon as they walked in and the whole room was green and you seen that glowing from the ground, I was like, wow, this is taking me back to my Super Nintendo days of playing Mortal Kombat 2, when I used to rent it from the Blockbuster down the street. I was able to spot that. I love that scene with the spiked floor. That really did it justice and was very brutal. The Liu Kang versus Kung Lao fight with the changing color portal background from red to blue. That whole thing was just epic because, of course, we had that bond between Kung Lao and Liu Kang in the first movie. So for them to have to fight each other and have it so extended was so damn good. The choreography for that sequence was so good, from just being practical, the wire work, and even the inclusion of the VFX, like when Kung Lao throws his hat and it bounces up, which is a classic move that I was like, oh my god, then he teleports through it and kicks Liu Kang. So fire. I love that Liu Kang was using fire for every fight sequence as well. I feel like that was something that Liu Kang fans like myself wanted to see more, and he was blowing stuff up, and I just really enjoyed all of those sequences that he used with the fire. It was great. And there are a few characters who didn't get a whole lot of shine, like Jax and Sonya, I feel, but they were like the leads of the movie, so I really wasn't expecting a whole lot of focus on them, even though they did get their slight moments of shine, but it wasn't as big as some of the other characters. But it still worked out for me anyway. And while Scorpion and Bihan weren't in the movie as much as the first one, when they did fight, it was epic. Having them fight in that hell stage was so dope because I feel like it was the contrast of the first movie when Scorpion fought Sub-Zero on his home turf, being in that iced room. So I loved how we got to see both go back and forth. That was super fire. And boy, oh boy, I gotta give it to Hanzo because he stands on business. This man was just in the afterlife chilling, tending to his flowers, and when they came back and said, hey, Bihan is back outside, he immediately dropped the shears and wanted to bring the smoke to him. Like, you know how much smoke you have to have for somebody to kill him and then go to the afterlife and kill him again? Like, that's wild. And the one thing that I will say that I kind of was let down by was my boy Cole. Now, granted, I don't think that I wanted to see him more, or that I think that he was the best part of the first movie, because I really didn't give a damn about his character. But my thing is, you already spent a whole movie building him up. For them to kill him off and within the first 15 minutes was kind of crazy to me. I thought they was gonna at least have him around to fight amongst the others, but the fact that, you know, they just decided to kill him because the fans didn't like him, I'm like, nah, stand on what you did. There are interesting things that you could do with the character. The problem was with his character is you presented something that I believe the fans of the movie thought was gonna be something else, and when it didn't happen, we were just kind of like, why? Because personally, I thought that in the first Mortal Kombat, he was gonna become Scorpion because he was a descendant of Scorpion. I'm like, I don't get the point of drawing the parallel and making it known that he is of the same bloodline as Scorpion if you're not gonna do anything. And especially, he was gaining that armor. I'm thinking like, okay, maybe he's gonna be an armored version of Scorpion or something. And I'm like, the fact that it didn't go any further and it was just kind of dumb. He had armor and we was just like, come on. And I just wanted them to do something better and different with his character, not kill him off completely. And I still feel like they can go that route because, of course, Hiroyuki Sanada, if I said his name wrong, excuse me, he's getting up there in age, and I'm sure being a Scorpion is taxing on the body. And I feel like a way to bring back Cole and give some respect to the actor, I think his name is Louis Tan, I believe. I feel like he got done dirty the most because it wasn't his fault, right? But when they go back to get Cole, it would be dope if he became the new Scorpion. Because again, it makes more sense to have like a younger Scorpion being able to fight, because I think eventually they're gonna go the route of getting Sub-Zero's younger brother. But then again, he fights on the side of good. But either way, the actor that plays Bihan is younger, and he can continue this over and over. But it would be super fire for Cole to come back as Scorpion, especially giving him the vendetta, like, you came after my family once, and now I get the chance to come after you. It's on when I see your ass, and that would make it for a good clash. So if you're listening, which apparently the Mortal Kombat crew are listening, bring Cole back, but just make him a character. I saw somebody say he should be some other character or something. I don't know nothing about that, but it would be dope for him to come back as a young Scorpion, because I do want to see Scorpion in this series more, as well as behind the other ninjas like Rain, Smoke, Cyrax. Like, they all have a place in here, and it would be fire. But I laugh because as soon as he walked on the stage with the green acid and I saw Shao Kahn come through, I'm like, oh, he's about to die, because he's definitely not going to be Shao Kahn. And the last thing I want to talk about before I get out here is Liu Kang. He has always been one of my favorite characters, so to see him get more screen time and just be more of a force in this movie made me extremely happy. I love when he was fighting Shao Kahn in that one period, and he did that ill-ass move, and you see them fire dragons come from behind him, and they're just like sitting there waiting for him to attack and he's talking to Shao Kahn, I was like, ooh, I was getting chills. I think that actor did an amazing job with the physicality, and he was born to play that role, which goes to my next point that I want to talk about, right? So when the movie ended, I kind of was confused when Shao Kahn supposedly killed him and like he kind of rose like a phoenix. I was like, what is going on? Like, I'm not following what's happening here, right? So I did some research, and of course people who are Mortal Kombat fans of the new stuff, they know exactly where this is leading. But in the next movie, I feel like we're gonna get Fire God Liu Kang, and I had no idea who this was. What's funny is I actually saw the character, you know, on social media, but I just figured it was like just some different version of Liu Kang, and he dresses different, but no. He fuses with the element of fire and becomes the god of fire, similar to Raiden being the god of thunder, and his power is unparalleled. And I was like, oh my God. And I went down a rabbit hole and saw that he had some fatality on Mortal Kombat 11 where he takes the character out in space, creates a black hole, and sends him through. And I was like, are we gonna get that? I want that. So please, if we're gonna do Fire God Liu Kang, yes, please, it has to. The fact that he just flew off and his eyes even lit up, and I was kind of like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? But man, that has me even more hyped for the sequel. So as to where they go with the sequel, I feel like what's gonna happen, and it's just me, you know, thinking about the possibilities, right? Since they have Quan Chi now, who can now bring people back, and they are able to go back and forth into the Nether Realm. I wonder if when they go back to the Nether Realm, they're gonna run into some characters and the two worlds are going to end up merging, because I know that was one thing that happened in one of the Mortal Kombat games where both worlds came together, and it just was a colossal catastrophe for Earth. And I wonder if that's how Liu Kang's character will play a part. And again, I'm going to do a deep dive because I don't know much of anything after certain Mortal Kombat, so I don't know what storylines happened or who are some new characters, but I'm down. This movie really revitalized my interest in the overall game after I stopped playing in the 90s. So excellent film. I loved it. I don't give a damn if the story is paper thin. I ain't asked for that. I ain't watching Mortal Kombat to have some drawn out story. We know what it is. It's a tournament for the ruler of realms, and that's all I wanted, and I got that in maximum capacity. This is easily in my top 10 of the year, and I don't know if it's gonna get knocked out because of how enjoyable it is. Absolutely love this film. So let me know in the comments what were your favorite things about the film. We can go all spoilers because it is Monday. If you haven't seen the movie by now, I don't know why you'd be watching a spoiler review. But comment below, let's get the discussion going on film. And of course, if you like this kind of content, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, thank you. And until next time, peace.
RapNerd Productions, no capping, that's word to mommy. Instead of banking on it, now rapping is just a hobby.